out for the night. We're going to go through a couple new commits in the 2025 class, as well as who might be next for UCF. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Charge On. As always, I'm your host, Sean Green. Before we get started, as always, a quick word from our sponsor, BetOnline. Guys, the tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round, right up until the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices, and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. We also, again, have another great sponsor, Cut. Listen, this is the perfect time to be betting, right? You got BetOnline, but if you want a peer-to-peer social betting platform, Cut is the way to go. The Cut app is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's legal in 40-plus states. Cut has customizable odds, tracking capabilities, and an entire social network with group chats, user profiles, and rewards. All payments, no need for Venmo. You can bet with random people on there that you have no idea who they are, or you can bet with your actual friends. Put in the money on the app. Whoever wins gets paid out to your account instantly. So it's so good. We've already used it many times. If you really want to use it, and I highly recommend you do, use our promo code BELIEVEUCF. That's BLEAV UCF. The referral code is down below, and you'll get a 10% welcome deposit bonus. Don't forget that promo code CUT. Put your money where your mouth is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're in the thick of spring ball. They took the last week off, so I'm hoping, like I said last week, I am hoping to make it out to spring practice next week. We'll see how that goes, but spring practice will be starting up again next week for football. The basketball team, I debated talking about the basketball team. I think I'm just going to talk about it right here off the cup, like not get into too much. It's going to be a quick episode. We're really just talking recruiting after UCF kind of has nabbed over the last couple weeks two big-time recruits. But the basketball team ended their season in the NIT against USF. And if you watch my other show, which I am on the Zoneheads Orlando podcast, we have a UCF report every Tuesdays that I host and do. So go check that out on Tuesdays if you want more UCF news. I said I don't think UCF was winning that basketball game. I said I think there's too much going against UCF. The only thing they really had going for them was it was at home, right? But USF feels like they got snubbed from the tournament, had been winning a lot. There's a little bit more juice with USF right now. UCF ended their season. They won a game in the Big 12 tourney, but then it was a weird game against BYU. So listen, I think everybody's behind Johnny Dawkins. I think we'll see if any news comes out about an extension. I'm going to be honest. I'm not expecting an extension. I'm expecting that he finishes. I think he has one more year on his deal. So I think he finishes out this last year and they kind of go from there. Because I think what most people are saying is saving him is his recruiting. So you're going to get Mikey Williams in. Jalen Sellers coming back next year. Let's see what he can do in the transfer portal. I think he deserves an extension, but I guess we'll wait and see another year and then talk about extension talks a little bit later. But I was going to spend a whole segment on that for basketball, but then I'm like, you know what? There's not really much to say. UCF season ended. They lost to USF. It is what it is. And anybody that went to that game at 9 p.m., I salute you. You are true UCF fans. I was covering the Magic game, so I couldn't go. But salute out to you because that game didn't get over until like 11:30. So credit to you guys. But let's get in to the topic of today's discussion, which is UCF's 2025 recruiting. Now, when I talk about recruiting, listen, we've been doing this podcast since September of 2022. So we're in March of 2024. So we've gotten the opportunity to talk about, this is now our third recruiting cycle that we've gotten to talk about on Charge On. We had the 2023 class, the 2024 class, and the 2025 class. And every year, what's been the same constant, right, has been UCF is signing a historical class. UCF is continuing to make strides in recruiting that is putting them on the upper echelon of teams in college football. We've been saying that. And again, it speaks for itself, right? Now I'm looking at 247 Sports. But again, we're looking solely right now on UCF's recruiting class as a whole. So in 2023, according to 247, their overall rank was 38th in the country. And that was 1 year after Gus got here. Because 2022, the class they signed in 2022, obviously, if I can pull it up, it was Gus's first recruiting class. And even then, that was one of the highest ranked recruiting classes that they had ever signed. You signed guys like Xavier Townsend, the Henderson brothers, Nakai Martinez. That was Gus's first class. But then 2023 came, and you kind of felt like Gus and the staff just took a step above. John Walker, Andrew Harris, Isaiah Nixon, Braden Marshall, right? Guys that, Tyree Patterson even. And then Derek LeBlanc technically coming in from a transfer, but that got ranked the highest ranked recruiting class in UCF history. And John Walker being the highest ranked recruit in UCF history. Well, this past 2024 class, though, kept the same overall rank according to 247. It was ranked one of the higher in the country, right? UCF had, I think, the most blue chip 4-star prospects in the country. 247 is kind of wonky with that. So if you just go, the composite had UCF, 35th. But again, if you look at the recruits that UCF was getting, again, they broke that record. UCF had their, again, highest ranked recruiting class, headlined by guys like Kylan Fox and Walt Claire Flynn. They signed an incredible class, right? Well, now we're going to 2025, right? There's your little summary of the last two classes. We're going to 2025. And, early around, he committed on 4/14/2023. So we're coming up on the year anniversary of Tavion Swint. Tavion Swint committed about a year ago for the 2025 class. And we're like, if he's committing this early, we can only get excited about what's to come for this class. Then around bowl season, you got Santonio Isaac, a 3-star wide receiver who's kind of fits that, speedy wide receiver mold for UCF. Last, September, you got Jacques Joyner from Cocoa, an offensive tackle, 3-star offensive tackle. But most recently, we've been getting, the recruiting's picked up a little bit. In February, you got Candarius Reddick, who, I think is most likely projected. He's 5'11". Right now, he is the leader in the clubhouse to be the highest ranked recruit in UCF history. Right? Like, he's a 96 overall 4-star from Thomasville, Georgia, ranked on the composite as the number 7 safety in the class if he plays safety, but he is an athlete technically. So you're looking at it and you're like, okay, that was in February. Well, in March, you get Tony Williams. That was the most, we'll get into DeMarcus Gardner, but Tony Williams, 4-star, again, projected as a safety. So that's a second safety technically in the class if that's the way they're going to go. Ranked as the number 19 athlete for the 247 composite. 247 has him as the number 10 athlete in the country. He's from West Palm Beach, Florida. 6'1". And he was wanted. I mean, again, we can go down all these lists, but Florida State is on here, Kentucky, Louisville, Maryland, Mississippi State, Penn State, Pitt, Purdue, USC, West Virginia, Iowa. Like, again, you look at the list and you're like, wow. Like, UCF early, we're in March. These guys won't sign until November, December, depending on when they're putting National Signing Day now. You've got right now, according to 247 Sports, 3 4-stars, 3 composite 4-stars. And then just 4 days ago, this week, you get DeMarcus Gardner. And DeMarcus didn't have a 247 ranking, but he was ranked a 3-star on On3. He's now ranked an 87 overall, 3-star on 247. Corner from Cedartown, Georgia. So, I mean, again, another defensive player, which we figured UCF was going to go heavy on the defense in this class. And again, another corner or safety that UCF has gone after. Now, his recruiting has been a little bit more timid, I would say. I mean, if you look at his offer sheet, he's got offers from Arkansas State, East Carolina, Georgia State, Jacksonville State, Kentucky's on there, SMU, UAB, and USF. So if you look at everybody combined, he's got 3 Power 5 offers now, or Power 4 offers if you include SMU. But I think the point is, I think he's going to get a lot more offers in the coming months, given it seems like he was a little bit unknown. Now he's ranked on 247, and he's a pretty solidly ranked corner. But the point I'm trying to make here is let's look at what they have UCF right now. And this isn't just on 247, it's on 3 as well. On 3 put out their top 25 2025 recruiting, and UCF is 15th. UCF is also 15th on 247. 15th in the country. Now, do I think we'll end up around there? I don't know. We'll talk about a guy I think might be committing to UCF on March 30th. Might be. But there's a lot of top guys that are seeing the trend. They believe the head coach is staying in place. They like what UCF is doing, especially in a Power 4 conference. It's in Florida. And especially the last couple recruiting classes, UCF has really hammered home on the Georgia-Florida pipeline. They've really recruited the hell out of Georgia. You can make the argument, I mean, not that much of an argument, most of UCF's top players from last class were in Georgia. They recruited that Atlanta area and got a bunch of guys. And then again, you look at this year's class. What are the only 2 states on here? Thomasville, Georgia, Kissimmee, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, Cedartown, Georgia, Cocoa, Florida, Tampa, Florida. UCF and their staff are clearly recruiting the Florida-Georgia pipeline. And who isn't? Every school in the country is recruiting that area. But what UCF knows, and again, it's the smart thing and the smart way to go about it, is if you recruit everybody from a similar section of Georgia. Most of them know each other. Most of them are friends. So if you get one of their friends to go or 2 of their friends to go, most likely the view is going to change. I'm not going to say UCF had a bad look, but everybody's now wanting to go to UCF. It's cool to go to UCF. My friends are going to UCF. We can play together. Put the program on top. So right now, UCF is 15th. And that, if we end there, that'd be great. But like I've said in episodes past, the way that this is trending, it's again looking like UCF's going to not only break the record, but blow the doors off of the previous record for recruiting class. In March, you already have 3 composite 4-stars committed to you. Now, again, these guys have to sign on the dotted line. At the end of the day, these guys have to sign. And a lot of these guys have already been, not just these guys, but more guys are putting out notifications about that they're locked in for an official visit in the next 3 months. It's cool to go to UCF. People want to go to UCF. So it'll be interesting to see what the staff can do moving forward. Now, who might be committing to UCF on March 30th? Now, this one, I'm going to be honest. About a week ago, I was pretty confident in it. Now, this I think would break the record for our highest ranked recruit committed. Let me double check that. He's a 9.674. So he would just break the record. And again, the record would have been held for 2 months. Now, this one, his name's TJ Alford. He's a linebacker from Vero Beach, Florida, obviously close to Miami. He is the number 7 linebacker, according to 247, number 8 linebacker in the country, according to 247 Sports Composite. And 6'2", 210, dude already looks like a man. UCF is going hard after TJ Alford. Now, with that being said, obviously, as a top 10 linebacker in the class and a top 100 player in the 2025 class, he has a lot of suitors. I was pretty confident about TJ Alford about a week and a half ago. Now, you never know. I think his favorite tweet is to put the little eye emojis whenever a team or anything surrounding a team is talking about him. So it was like Ohio State, Miami, Florida State. I think, in my opinion, it's going to come down to UCF and Miami. And maybe Ohio State, because I think he is going on a visit there. Obviously, Miami kid, Vero Beach. I think if I had to guess, he goes to Miami. But March 30th is pretty close. I think Florida State, I can't remember if he's going on a visit to Florida State close to March 30th. He's going to some school close to March 30th. It might be Miami. But if UCF could get him to commit, then I think UCF's going to blow the doors off this class. Completely blow the doors off. And I implore you guys to go look him up, follow him on social until March 30th to see if he ends up committing. But as of right now, this UCF 2025 recruiting class is looking like it's going to get insane. And I'm really excited for it, and I'm really excited to see what the staff can do. Obviously, they're bringing a lot of players in for spring ball just to come to practice. I think that is really smart with what they're showing, and especially with KJ on the team, KJ Jefferson, and how the team, I think, is shaping up this year. I'm really looking forward to see over the next however many months who ends up committing and who becomes a Knight at the end of this year. Because I think the way it's looking, UCF has a really good class on their hands. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Charge On. Really just wanted to discuss recruiting. Next week, we'll talk more spring ball. Spring ball is back after the spring break, so we'll get a lot more interviews, a lot more news coming out of, the UCF practice fields and see what's being said and who's really shaping out and starting to make an impact on both the offensive and defensive side of the football. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Do all that you do. We greatly appreciate it. And please follow me on all socials at Sean M.R. Green. If you want to sign up for any of our sponsors, the link is down below. All right, everybody, this has been Charge On, presented by Bet Online. We will see you next week.